The screams of the dying invaded the cockpit as Kirjan tried to evade yet another barrage of the mass driver bullets. How have they found them? Was this an ambush? Had they been betrayed? The human interceptors have come into the asteroid field with the intention of taking them out. No arresting, no checking the cargo. They just opened fire, and just like that, her crew, her corps, her friends, her family had blinked out of existence in the silent hailstorms of the ship's explosions. How did they see through her stealth system? Did she make a mistake? Did she fail her family? It was her idea to do the job. It has been her idea to go through Bridge 34 to sleep past patrols. Kirjan sighed, then blasted out into the asteroids, leaving them all behind, taking with her the contraband and the guilt of what she have done. Hello there, welcome to the Veiled Space podcast, where I, JMBeraldo, will be playing the solo RPG Ironsworn Starforged and trying to weave a story out of whatever the dice gods give me. If you want to know how Starforged works, or more about the universe that this story is set in, please jump back to the previous episode where the story begins. A few comments before we start. While preparing for this session, I was listening again to the previous episodes and I realized a couple of things. One is that for whatever reason, the name Kier just doesn't roll well out of my tongue. And there's also the problem, there's a character called Kitty in the Alexandria 4 visual novel, which by the way the demo is available on Steam. So I'll be calling her Kirjan. I mean, her name is Kirjan Orikana, so yeah. And also very similar to Erigun, which is the other Nitarian that appears on the 5 Parsecs from Home campaign on the visual novel. The other thing is that I noticed that if I make a drinking game, where every time I say definitely in the first episode, by the end of the episode, most of you will be on the floor like alcoholic coma. So yeah. Anyway, last episode, Nitarian smuggler Kirjan Orikana arrived in Vanguard's rest sector with the mission to disrupt the salvage operation of a massive Selonian mothership sinking into the gas giant. Kirjan used her stealth system and Gao to move in, dock to the relay station, and use this strange device provided by her mother corporation, triggering a powerful energy blast that deactivated everything within range, including her own ship and her stealth system. As the ships slowly plunged into certain death inside the gas giant, the patrol boat that Kirjan had previously deceived returned and headed straight for her. Now, we're kind of in a tight situation, as you can see. It could begin just exactly where we stopped the last time, or it could even just advance time and say that she's in jail, whatever. But I want to do something different. There's too many questions, right? Because I really just started playing the game without really thinking too much into it. Who sent Kirjan here? Why? And I did mention that was her mother corporation, Orikana, but is there anything specific? A specific person? Why did they give her such a powerful device? One of the things that come up on the first episode is that it's Selonian. Selonian technology, it's extremely rare, extremely powerful, and extremely sought after. And did they know what will happen? Because, clearly she's going to be captured. And would they want this kind of technology to fall in someone else's hand? Probably not. So Starforged suggests that when you start a session, you can instead roll on the table to begin in a different way. You can have something different to clarify the story or just to have a different point of view. So let's do that. There's a begin a session move, and like I say, there's a table, so I'm going to roll the percentile dice, see what comes up. 6, the first one. Flashback reveals an aspect of your background or nature. Okay, I guess we can just go straight to what I was saying. Let's have a flashback about Kirjan and how she got in this mission. What was the reason for it? I'm not sure if that's going to take the whole episode, but so Starforged with the character creation, there's one table to help you think about a backstory. I don't think I really did this, so I'll just roll now and see what comes up and see maybe that helps. 30. You are the sole survivor of attack or calamity. That's dark. So yeah, maybe something happened. She was in a smuggling operation and something very bad happened. Maybe everyone died and she was the only one who managed to escape. The Orikana corporation itself, it's big. We already know that because it's part of the Veiled Space universe. Kirjan is not originally from Orikana. Maybe she's from a smaller one, then God somehow eradicated and Orikana kind of absorbed it. Maybe? Okay, let's just think about the scene itself. I'll roll a couple of dice on the oracle table just to have a feeling what's the direction of the scene. So 42 health, 82 risk, health risk. Okay, yeah, sure. Okay, so connecting those two things, maybe. Okay, I think I have an idea of how to go with this. So yeah, this session will start in Alexandria 4, the space station. So how it works? Humans, as I mentioned in the last episode, they're not really unified. But there is a United Nations of Earth, which a lot of people don't really take in consideration as a serious thing. But anyway, it's as close as a unifying government that there is. Which, by the way, it's not really that unified because there are other planets. There's the moon and there's Mars and the Belters, but anyway, I digress. So the Alexandrias, there are 4 space stations spread out around this human space, air quotes. Alexandria is the most recent one, and which is totally inspired by Babylon 5 and Deep Space Nine, because I'm like that. Alexandria 4 is in Groombridge 34, so it's a double star system, not so far from Earth, but it's in kind of a point that connects with Nitarian space and some other species space. It's kind of a good position for all those diplomatic situation. And Orikana has a strong use of the region with logistics. So that's where Erigan, the character, is. So we could start with the incident, the attack that we're talking about. Maybe just happened. We roll to see what species we have attacked. Human. Okay. Kirjan and her crew, they're doing a smuggling run through the sector of space. It's the frontier between Nitarian zone of influence with humans. Humans are not really taken seriously by anyone, so why would they care about it? They've been doing this kind of smuggling run for a while. They go into the human territories to sell weapons and things like that. They bring back some contraband from Earth, especially drugs like chocolate, because chocolate is a serious drug, and for some reason only on Earth it can be made. So yeah, and the problem is that they got caught this time. They're moving through the asteroid field, Groombridge 34. There is a wide asteroid field where some of the corporations are mining. For some reason there was a patrol in the area, and they got detected, despite the stealth system and all of that. And suddenly there's missiles and lasers flying all around them. And as Kirjan is trying to evade this attack, there's a few other ships with her, and they're desperately trying to sneak into the asteroid, use the stealth system. Something happened. So we'll start with that. Kirjan is under attack. So it's not really a matter about deception anymore. She's right there, and they can see that. So it's more about mobility, trying to get out of range. Those fighters, they're in the asteroid field, so that's better. So I guess it might be good to first secure advantage. It might make sense to move away from the other ships to try to use the asteroids as cover. So it's first a secure advantage. Let's see if she can do it. So the challenge dice were 3 and 1. Could. But the action dice was 1. I only add edge to it, which means 2. That's not very good. So yeah, despite the very low challenge, it was a weak hit. So on a hit, you can choose between +2 momentum or add 1 to the next move. So I'm not going to consider momentum for this scene because it's a flashback. So just go with +1 for the next move. Okay, so Kirjan manages to move into the asteroid, so the stealth systems are not working anymore, but at least there's a lot of asteroids. You can use those as cover and try to get lost in the middle of it. So yeah, now we use the second one, which is face danger. Now that she got an advantage with the asteroid, I guess that she could use deception, stealth, and trickery, but I'm not going to consider the stealth system. But still, smugglers have +2 on stealthily cheating and all of that. I'll add the +2 on it. Okay, it was a 1 and an 8 as challenge, and the action is 3. So 3 plus 3 from shadow, 6 plus 2 from the scoundrel path. So that's 8. So yeah, since I had the secure advantage, I got a +1, which makes this my action 9. So I have a strong hit. Perfect. So as the patrol ships are shooting all over the smuggling group, Kirjan just throw herself into the middle of the asteroids, trying desperate to get the self-system working again, and somehow she manages to get lost in it. She knows that the humans capture her, or if we just stay behind and try to do something, she might end up dead or captured. So it doesn't sound like a good idea to stay around. I think it's interesting to just roll dice and come up with something bad to happen, right? Why not? So one of the oracles is miscellaneous complications. Let's roll on that. Why not? Let's see a complication happening. 77, undermined by self-doubt and vulnerabilities. Well, I guess it makes sense. So Kirjan is alone. She managed to escape the patrol, but she can hear through the communications as her friends are yelling and dying. And suddenly she's really doubtful about all this. Can she survive? She have taken this job? Couldn't she do something to save her friends? Maybe it's too late. What could she do anyway? There's another thing about how Starforged work is that one of the actions that exists is called Undertake an Expedition. When you trailblaze a route that's parallel space, journey over hazardous terrain, or survey a mysterious site, what Kir's trying to do is just get the hell out of there. She wants to find a way out of this system. She just wants to escape. But at the same time, she knows there are patrols out there. Maybe there's more. So yeah, let's do another expedition. And of course, it's keep under the radar, right? I'm trying to be stealthy about it. Amazing. So the challenge was 1 and a 9. But my action was 6. So 6 plus 3 from stealth, it's already a 9. And I have a plus 2 from being a scoundrel. Okay, cool. I managed to get a strong hit. So you're on a strong hit to reach a waypoint. Envision the location and mark progress from the rank of the expedition. In that sense, the expedition works basically just like a vow. It's a quest, right? I'm not going to drag this for very long because it's just a flashback. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create this expedition as troublesome, which means I'll need to have around 3 successes to manage to escape. Escape room bridge 34. Most of it, I guess it makes sense to roll, find something in space, right? Why not? I mean, I know I'm in an asteroid field, so I'm not going to roll planets or anything like that. 71, debris field, metallic wreckage. I'll roll a few more tables just to get some ideas. 85, superstition. 28, deadly superstition. Not sure. So there are tables for ships too. I'll roll one here to see what's the purpose of this location. 79. Test the technology. What kind of ship you could find in this? Let's see. I'll roll on there's a table for ship classes. 90. Fleet. It's not just one ship, it's a fleet. 65. Trade caravan. Okay. So maybe... Okay. I know how to connect the dots. As Kirjan comes into this wreckage, this massive wreckage, she finds the debris of several Nitarian transport ships. There was some kind of pirate attack here. But that's the thing. I rolled the test technology, right? And I also rolled before that something about superstition, right? What if maybe Orikana was moving some kind of transport ships through this area to test some kind of technology? But some faction was... Ooh, I have an idea. Yes. I hope you're thinking the same thing. So, as Kirjan is seeing this ship, so there's wreckage everywhere. You can see there's some lights in the distance. There's the thruster of some ships moving away. So this attack happened recently. Someone has just attacked this Nitarian fleet of transport who shouldn't really be moving through the asteroid fields. I mean, this is a terrible thing. It's completely out of any trade route. Why would it be doing that? They're, of course, hiding something. They don't want the humans to know about it. That's why they're using the asteroid field. I mean, that's exactly what Kirjan was doing, right? Kirjan can see, of course, she keeps hidden while she's trying to gather information. So that's another roll. Why not? So that's perfect. So the challenge was 1 and a 2, while the action was 6. 6 is a lot, so I don't even need to add my attribute. On a strong hit, you discover something helpful and specific, and take +2 momentum. I'll note those momentum as a separate thing. I'm not going to add that to the total that I already have on the main session, because this is a flashback, so there's a +2 there. I'll use only on this session. So what does she find? Okay, as the ships are moving away, they're not really trying to take anything, so they're not pirates. They were there simply to destroy it. Maybe from the distance here you can see on their sensors that some of those ships attacking, they're blasting the wreckage of the ships as if they really, really, really want to vaporize everything. Maybe, yeah, that's actually cool. There's a bigger ship. It's a modified freighter that has some of those turrets welded into it. And as they're moving by, they're dropping these huge mines. And as soon as they move far away from it, the mine detonates silently, of course, because it's a space. It simply vaporizes everything around it. It doesn't even leave anything from the wreckage. It doesn't seem to be about letting the people, making sure that he killed everyone. They seem to be wanting to erase whatever it is that those ships are carrying, or information, whatever it is. Which sounds interesting, right? Why would they be doing something like that? What kind of cargo could be so terrible that we would be doing that? Kirjan is kind of like, you know what, I'm already here. I could just ignore this. But I have a stealth system. Maybe, I guess I can say that it's working again. Kirjan is trying to approach one of the wreckages of the transport. She's trying to see if she can find out what the hell is going on here. What are the transports doing in this place and why are they being treated in this way? So she's moving toward one of the wreckages without being noticed. So I guess it's a sneaking. They've been rolling very well. That's actually exactly the same thing. 2 and a 1 on a challenge and a 6 on the action dice. Amazing. Kirjan sneaks in the direction of the nearest wreckage. She has the stealth system working again. She gets to one of the wreckages and does she find anything? I guess it will be a gather information again. Why not? Let's see if there's something. Yeah, that's definitely that's not exactly the best roll. So there's a 5 and a 6 as challenge and my action dice is a 2. I add to it my wits, which is 2, so it's a 4. Yeah, nope. Fail. On a miss, your investigation unearths a dire threat or reveals an uncommon truth that undermines your quest. Pay the price. I'll pay the price. It's that kind of thing. It could be the damage or something like that. But I feel like it makes sense that maybe she just triggered something and got the attention of those attackers. Right? It makes sense. So as she's moving towards the ship, she stops near one of the destroyed wreckage and she tries scanning it. She's not entirely sure if she should dock with it because, know how long it could take for those pirates or who they are coming back. So she approaches it and the ship is spinning, so she's trying to make her own ship spin on the same speed. It's not exactly as easy as expected. At the same time, she's trying to scan the ship, and while she's doing that, there is still someone alive inside the ship. I guess they think that she's trying to rescue them. And her ship is an Italian, right? So they start trying to signal her and trying to make their own ship rotate and connect because they just want to get out of there. The problem is they're in a wrecked freighter, so they can't really control very well what they're trying to do, and they do something very bad on the maneuvering thrusters, and the freighter suddenly spins too fast, hits Kirjan's ship from the bottom, causing damage to it, making her stealth system deactivate long enough to be detected. So just after that happens, and she's kind of yelling in her cockpit, saying to the guy to shut up and stop trying to do whatever it is. She can see him from one of the windows on the freighter, blinking lights or whatever it is. So just after that, there's 2 lights, and they veer away from the big ship that was mining, cleansing the place, and they come in her direction. Great. What does she do? Does she just runs away? Technically, that's not her problem, right? You could just get the hell out of there. I guess she judges that, yeah, there's time enough to try to do something. Okay, yeah, why not? Just try to connect to the docking ship and let the guy in. So it's a face danger. But this time I guess his focus observation would be speed and mobility. Yeah, but I'm terrible at that. I only have 1 edge. Okay, why not? Let's just go with it. Okay. On a strong hit, you succeed, take +1 momentum. So Kirjan's just say that screw this, and using much more skill than she expected, managed to dock off the wrecked freighter long enough, like the airlock opens very fast and the crew comes in. The crew is 1 guy, maybe it's 1 person. Okay, I'll just say that it's 1 person. Why not? Just roll quickly just to see if there's any information about that person. So the first look says 72 sickly, so maybe he's wounded. The person is wounded. 73, yeah, it's the same thing, so it's very wounded. And the roll on the character go, it's 19 is defend the person. Okay, the door opens and the air coach, just go. Just wait, there's a moment and there's something else. Consider there's a second. Nitarian comes in. The door closes. As soon as their lock closes behind her, and she just tries to get the hell out of there. So those two fighters are moving. She doesn't even look back to people who came in. So it would be a face danger again, but this time she's trying to get the hell out of there. She's not going to face it. So as those two fighters are coming in their direction, maybe there's already like missile lock and all of that. Kirjan will just try to get into the asteroid field and disappear. She's just moving into it and get out of the way. So 4 and an 8, and she got a 4 as an action dice. So 4 plus 3 of Shadow, 7, plus the 2 from the Scoundrel, 9, and Stealth System, 10. That's a total success. So yeah, another plus 1 momentum, so I'm up to 4 now. As the two ships come in, shooting and throwing missiles, Kirjan managed to use the wreckage of the transport as a cover, and the missile explodes on the wreckage, and she just throws herself back into the asteroid field. The fighters will try to chase her, but she managed to disappear. And I guess we can move on to the next step of the journey. So she's not going to stop right now to talk to whomever it is that came in. I'll do an undertake expedition again. I guess at this time you can definitely say that she's trying to move at speed. 4 and a 10. My action was 5, so plus 1 from edge. There's plus 1 from stealth system because it makes sense. I'm trying to avoid detection, but still a weak hit. So on a weak hit, there's above, so you reach a waypoint, envision a location and mark progress, but progress costs you. Choose one. You either suffer a cost on the route, so make a suffer move, face a parry on the waypoint. Envision what you encounter. Great, because I'm jumping from one problem to the next. No, I'm going with the face one parry. Why not? Let's roll on that table. It's much more interesting than just removing points. 93. Perfect. True nature of the cargo occupants and passengers revealed. So yeah, as the ship is moving away from it, she finally sets up the computer AI to do it, and she's expecting the computer to be good enough to evade the bigger asteroids. So you can say that mark a little bit of progress on that expedition of getting out of Grand Bridge 34. As she's doing that, it turns around. So she sees 2 Nitarians. So the first one is the one that she saw waving at her and trying to get in. So it's a pilot. It's wearing the flight suit as most of them would use, but there is a gun hanging from the belt. He's very wounded. So he's a blue skin, but it's kind of pale, as if have a lot of blood loss. So they have tentacles on their head. Some of them are missing. Some of them are kind of limp, as if it's been too wounded to move. He's holding one of his arms. But Kiri immediately noticed that the good hand, it's very near the pistol on the holster. So looks that despite being weak, that's the kind of person who could just draw that gun if needed. The other one, it's orange, just like Kirjan is, and have those big tentacles moving around. He doesn't seem like he's been wounded at all. Maybe a little bruised here and there. He's wearing this long flowing robes, blue and yellow, looking around as if judging the ship. Like, what the hell is this? Is that what's supposed to be picking me up? And that's the person who moves in her direction. Who are you? He asks. Kirjan looks him up and down like,
I'm the person who saved you. I wasn't even supposed to be there. I mean, what's going on here? Who are you?
The wounded Nitarian is clearly tense. He's not really sure how to react to this. I mean, this aggression he be shooting the pilot. Anyway, the not wounded, the orange Nitarian gives this tentacle movement. So this is the thing, Nitarians, they can communicate the same way that humans kind of communicate by the facial expressions, even the change in the color of our skin. Nitarians do that with the tentacles, the movement, almost like they're saying this secret language. Of course, it's not complex, but they can kind of communicate. And the tentacle moving on this guy's head, he really wasn't expecting anyone to treat him like that. But at the same time, he seems to like it.
I'm Orikana. corporate of Orikana and the representative of my mother corporation in this star system and this sector. Thank you for saving me.
If it was someone other species, if it was a human hearing that, maybe they would think he's being very truthful to what he's saying. But Kirjan is an Etherean. She can see the way his tentacles are moving. He's being sarcastic. He's just saying all those things with all the intention of hurting.
So yes, thank you. I mean, it's an interesting question to ask. Why would a ship like yours, with clearly stealth system and from what I saw, a very interesting cargo, would be going through Drone Bridge 34 without my knowledge? I mean, you sure know that the only Nitarian corporation who connect here is Orikana, right? And I don't know about you. So, let me ask you again, who are you?
Nice. So Kirjan have this moment of, okay, did I save someone that I shouldn't have saved? I guess that would be a interesting moment to try to do something different. I mean, Kirjan's not going to say exactly what she's doing there. Remember that at this point, as we were discussing, she's not yet with Orikana. She's a smuggler. She has a small operation going on, so she shouldn't be there. What she'll try to do is the compel action. So compel says that when you try to persuade someone or make them an offer, envision your approach. If you lie or swindle, roll plus shadow. If, of course, I'm a smuggler. And I have that plus 2 if I'm lying, bluffing, cheating, and all of that. So definitely going to be using that. It's amazing because it's a very bad roll all around. So 1 and a 2 in the challenge dice, and also 1 on the action dice. Thankfully, Shadow, I have plus 3 and I have the plus 2 from the Scoundrel. So that means that, yeah, that was a strong success. On a strong hit, they'll do what you want and agree to your conditions. Take a plus 1 momentum. So momentum goes up to 5. And so Kirjan.
Yeah, we actually have this small operation that we're going through this location. We figured it would be faster to go through here, just skipping around the asteroid field. I mean, it's humans, right? We didn't really expect them to have anything here. Humans are quite inferior, as you truly know about. And I wasn't aware that they had patrols here, so the patrols were more active than expected, and I ended up getting lost from my friends. And anyway, we were on the way to a nearby outpost to sell some cargo. Hopefully I can rendezvous with my friends, but of course, if you want to lift somewhere.
And that's the moment that Kirjan uses her smarts and her experience. The obvious fact that this guy, Erigan, he's hiding something. I mean, he definitely shouldn't be in this spot. And she uses that to gain her own advantage. And
I mean, of course, if you really want to go back to the station on this sector, I mean, why would you? I mean, it doesn't sound like the people back there want you to be here. Do the humans know about what you're doing in the third field? I mean, of course, if you just want me to take you somewhere else, or I can just, I don't know, shuffle you around. Can't pretend I'm bringing you back from somewhere else.
And Ergun smiles. His tentacles have that kind of movement of, he's pleased with it. He wasn't expecting that retort. He's very good at what he does, and he might have found this match. He's in a situation, he's clearly in a complicated situation. He was doing something hidden, and they were attacked, and he was rescued by this random person, so really threatening. Then because they're in the wrong place, it's not exactly, they're not really in a strong position. So Ergun smiles and says,
Sure, can I know your name and your mother corporation? Just so I know how to call you?
Kirjan just smiles and says,
Kirjan, that's all you need to know for now. Of course, Kirjan. Good to meet you. Your arrival was very timely. We unfortunately came across this group of fanatics. Terrible people. I don't know why people give them ships. You know, most of them are humans in the yard, right? They're terrible. I mean, they're so easily influenced by others. So yeah, anyway, This group has been moving around. What's the name?
Again, he turns around to the wounded soldier. And the wounded soldier this time kind of just realized that the situation was diffused, so he just sat on one of the cargo crates and he's kind of trying to find his med kit to just stab himself with it. He looks in their direction. Golden Court, he says. And that's basically all he says.
Yes, Golden Court, such theatricals. I mean, why? Why would anyone give this kind of name to a organization? So yes, they are some kind of fanatics. They've been chasing around all those relics from the Salonians. You know how it is. The worst part is that they either pick that up to just prey on it or they destroy it. That's terrible. They don't even use it. They don't see the profit in using that. It's terrible.
Kirjan's kind of like,
Okay. Does that mean you're carrying Salonian artifacts? Is that why you were in the asteroid field, evading the same patrols that my friends were trying to evade? I mean, not that do anything illegal, of course. It's just because there's too many questions, right? I mean, too many forms to write.
here he goes like,
Of course, yes. That's exactly the problem. I mean, it would take so long, right? It just could just skip by and take in our own things. It's unfortunate to have to go through human territory. They can be very complicated species, you know. I tried selling them new computers and software, but they keep complaining about it. I don't know. They don't really know how to. I mean, their hair kind of super limp, so it's kind of useless. I don't even know why they have hair. Why will just shave that anyway? Well, yes, could use your help to take him back to the station like said before, but you know what? Since we're here, there is one thing that would be very interesting to recover before it's gone.
he looks back at the soldier.
Do you remember which is the ship that's carrying it?
The soldier looks up. And he checks on his own wearable, his computer, and finds his file and flickers it in the direction of Kirjan and Irgun. Kirjan sees this icon blinking on the corner of her vision. It's the file that has been sent. She waves in this direction and kind of a hologram opens up, but it's only for her eyes and Irgun's. So it's showing a holographic map of this fleet of transports. 6 ships. They were moving very near each other to the asteroid field before they were attacked. And one of the ships around the middle, it's marked with an arrow. So yeah, one of the ships was carrying. Kirjan's kind of like,
what is exactly that you are carrying? What are you doing here? Okay. Let me explain.
here's Aragon.
We have a Salonian device. That's enough for now. The fact is that we're trying to reverse engineer it, and I guess that the Golden Court found out about it and didn't like it. It came after us trying to recover this artifact, to probably pray on it and put some candles or incense or whatever they do, been cleansing everything. I guess they think that if they throw those antimatter mines around and vaporize everything, the actual artifact will remain, which is actually possible. I mean, that thing has been floating around in space for like thousands of years. Anyway, yeah, we kind of need to recover that. So I can see that your ship has a stealth system. It's all made to be silent. So let's say you help us. We're gonna be very thankful about it.
Kirjan's kind of like thankful.
Yeah, you know, we're Unitarians. We trade. Of course I can help you, but what do I get back from it?
What does Aragon offer? It's one of the oracles to see. 94 vow, 31 equipment. So Aragon looks around the ship.
I can give you an upgrade. I mean, a serious upgrade to this ship. You deserve more than this, of course. So yeah, definitely, I can give you an overhaul on this ship. You'll love it.
Will Kirjan take this? I mean, it's kind of risky. She saw those 2 fighters almost got to her, and they were basically dropping antimatter mines everywhere. She's tried to get a little bit more of it. Yeah, why not? I'll try another compel. This time it's charm, so it's heart. I'll have a +2 on it. So let's see, 10 and a 1, amazing challenge. But the action is 6. So 6 plus 2 is 8. Yeah, it's a weak hit. Weak hit. So they do what you want, but their agreement comes with a demand or a complicator. envision this counteroffer. Kirjan wants more. That's the thing. She knows that whatever happened to her friends, she lost everything. I mean, are they still alive? She doesn't even know that. Maybe at this point what she asks for is, you help me to find my friends, have helped us to get back up after the current incident. I mean, we're going to this bad luck on this mission.
It's more than just my ship. I want you to be our sponsor.
Irgun kind of smiles again, that tentacle movement of amusement.
Okay, of course. We can do that. I mean, depending on how well you do this mission, I guess I could have another one for you just after that.
Foreshadowing for the past, because we're in a flashback. But anyway, you know what I mean. Instead of going on our expedition, we're going back actually. So Kirjan decides to return to the wreckage. In that case, it's already a known path, so it doesn't need to roll again because she knows how to get there because she just came from it. But let's see what happens when they get there. Let's roll a little bit on the tables here to see. 78 protected, 22 protected command. Okay, so Kirjan has the ship back. At this point, the soldier, he managed to patch up his wounds. He's just sitting back there and watching. Again, there's a small galley where they can eat. So you just go over and getting stuff to eat, and as if he's home. Doesn't really care. What happens is that during this time that they were away, the mining ship, the big ship, have been cleaning everything. They destroyed almost every ship, and they're moving towards the ship where the device is. Well, there's the thing. Aragon doesn't know if the Selenium device will survive a mine. It doesn't really want to wait to foresee if what happens. So we need to act. Since we wrote protected command, that's the problem. Those fighters that were trying to chase Kirjan before, they're there. They're escorting the ship. They're very close by. So Kirjan has to be fast. She needs to get to the cargo ship and get the cargo device out of there before the command ship drops the mine. So here's the thing. I'll try first secure an advantage. It's going to use the same trick that she used in the first episode. It's going to try to fire decoy in a distance. It makes sense to guess that those around the area, they will be alert for her because they tried to chase her and she disappeared into the asteroid. So they'll probably be on the edge right now waiting to see if she would come back. So secure advantage to fire a probe, a way to try to draw their attention. Okay, so I rolled a 1, and a 1. Okay, so first things first. 1 on the action dice, I add my I'm using deception, so I add a bunch of stuff. But the thing is, every time you roll a match on the challenge dice, it means that something special happened. If you had a success, it was something good. If it was a failure, it was something bad. Thankfully, in this case, it was 1, 1, 1 plus my modifier. So yeah, it was a strong hit. So my momentum now is +7, and I get this +1. And what is the thing that happens? So I guess I throw the probe and the ships are alerted by it, and both of the fighters go after it. But I think it makes sense to have an opportunity. So there's another table here in the oracles called Spaceborne Opportunity. I don't think I ever rolled on it, so I'll just roll and see what happens. Maybe there's something interesting. 90. Sensors pinpoint a lurking foe. And I know what's that going to be. Oh yes. As Kirjan throws the sensors in the distance, fighters who are protecting the command ship, they boost in that direction, far away and leaving the command ship behind. The problem is that as they're doing this, Kirjan detects something else. Wait a minute, that's not my decoy. What was that? There's something else. There's a second signal, and a third, and a fourth, and a fifth. As the Golden Court ships are moving towards the drone, suddenly out of the asteroid field, far away from Kirjan, 4 human fighters come out of the asteroid field. They are the patrol ships that attacked her group, and they stumbled upon this mess with those fanatics there, and they instantly start shooting each other. So there are other Golden Court fighters in the region, and they just straight move in that direction. That's the best diversion that you could get. I mean, maybe Aragon's not going to be happy that the humans apparently found out that this wreckage of a ship. He would need to find of this transport fleet. He would need to find an excuse to why those ships were there, but that's his problem anyway. So yeah, suddenly there's this battle going on. There's a dogfight going on. thankfully far away from Kirjan. She goes straight in the direction of the destroyed ship, the one carrying the device. The command ship is still there, so it's still risky. She'll need to be stealthily to do it, to get near it without being attacked. So Kirjan moves straight in that direction. By the way, just the comment, normally I would have to make vows and all of that, but I mean, this is a flashback episode and we're already doing other stuff. I'm not going to evolve. We kind of know how this is going to end, right? Let's just roll with it. Let's face danger. And rolling really weirdly. So the challenge was a 1 and a 7, and the action was a 1 again. So I have 1 plus 3 from Shadow, that's a 4, plus 2 from the Cauldron, plus 1 from the stealth system, so that is a 6, and I have a plus 1 from the advantage. 8. So it's actually a strong hit. It's really good to when I do the things that my character is good at. On a strong hit, you succeed, and you get a plus 1 momentum. So my momentum now is plus 8. So Kirjan just activates the self system and moves straight at the wreckage of the freight. The command ship is approaching. It's going to drop that nuke very soon. So what Kirjan managed to do is that she managed to move in and get to the wreckage. She docked with it. She haven't been detected yet, but they still need to get the actual cargo. She docks to the wreckage of the ship. She approaches the ship, and she turns around as if saying, "So, go ahead. Open the airlock and just go there and get your cargo." When she looks back and the soldier's sleeping, he just passed out. He was so wounded. I rolled twice sickly. He was so wounded, and after using the med kit and seeing that the situation was fine with his boss, he just crashed. He's just lying on top of the crates of the smuggled good, the contraband that she's carrying, and just fell asleep there. Like the tentacles limp on his head. And Erican just looks over. He's drinking the Kirsch, which is kind of equivalent of coffee, and looks in her direction like, and just points in the direction of the airlock with the mug. Like, go ahead. I mean, you're getting ship and all that. You expect me to go there and pick it up? Come on, go fast. I mean, still have some meetings to go to back in the station. I'll be waiting. And then he just checks it, turns around and gets like the newspaper, starts reading it like, I don't care. Just do your job. Kirjan's
I'm not made for this kind of thing.
Of course, there's tables for derelicts too. So the first one is about conditions. So let's roll to see what's the situation. 47. 47, it's cold and dark. Okay, so probably all broken and the atmosphere was lost. So she needs to check her gear. So it's a move to see if she has equipment that can help her in any way. Oh, yeah, let's start with that. It's actually a supply roll. So 1 and a 5 on the challenge, 6 on the action. So yeah, she checks around her gear. She has some EVA suits and some tools that she can use to try to force the door open. And okay, cool. So do you have a plus 1 momentum that I can use? Is actually plus 9. Now it's almost a max. So she tries to force the door in, the airlock, in a way that doesn't blast her ship out into space or the way that doesn't suck all the air and the atmosphere out of from her ship. I guess it would be a face danger again. 3 and a 8, and the action is just a 1. That's bad. So it would be expertise. It would be wits. It's only plus 2, so it would be bad. It would be. I guess I'll just use momentum now. So I have a plus 9. I'm going back to 2, and I get a strong hit with that. You succeed, get a plus 1 momentum. So yes, back to plus 3. So she managed to force the airlock open in a way that doesn't cause catastrophic decompression of her ship. Yeah, she's using this EVA suit, the flight suit. In the future, you have smart cloth, so the clothing seals around her, and she just puts on the very light helmet, and it can keep her warm and with air for long enough, hopefully. So let's see what's the first look from the inside. There's a table for it. So 51, haunting visions of the dead. Ooh, because as soon as she gets into the corridor, first corridor, she's the corpses of dignitaries here. They're parts of them. They're all dead. And I rolled a 50, which is the same thing again. Haunted visions of the dead. I guess it's just bad. Where this airlock connects to, it's a workshop. So maybe just connected to the engine room. There's a workshop with clutter workbenches. So maybe they were working on something. Okay, perfect. It doesn't need to be in the cargo bay. I mean, we're talking about how the device was being reverse engineered and all of that. Maybe it's exactly there. So there's those tables around with a bunch of tools and parts. On top of one of the workbenches, there's this thing, which is exactly what you expected if you listen to the first episode. It's a disc-like, metallic, Selenium in nature, with this Nitarian system connected to it with cables and monitors. Those are barriers and opportunities. Let's see. 47. Precarious or broken path. The device is right there, but getting there, it's not going to be easy. It's not. Clearly, the explosion have caused a lot of damage. It's very hard to see, even with the light that she carries on her suit. So what she's going to do is simply try to get through this wreckage and get the device. In this case, it would be face danger. But yeah, before that, I mean, it's smart. I mean, she doesn't really have a lot of time, right? There's a ship coming with that. But I guess it makes sense to try to get information first. So she's trying to test the path. She knows it's dangerous. It's dark. Maybe it's falling apart. Getting to the device is going to be dangerous. So just try to get information. Is there a safer path? Can I get there without danger? Okay, great. So it was a 1 and a 4 in the challenge and a 4 in the action. And anything that I add will be a strong success. On a strong hit, you discover something helpful and specific. Path you must follow or action you must take. Make progress is made clear. Envision what you learned and take +2 momentum. So momentum is +5 now. So after analyzing, she kind of tasses around a little bit. I mean, that's not exactly her thing, but she's probably gone through this kind of situation before. So she finds a path that she can use to get through without the risk. So she does that. She sneaks through one corner where there's no risk of the wreckage coming apart under her, and she gets the device. Perfect. So there's some things connecting the device. It's mostly like strapped to the table. They pull this off. It's actually, we're in the future, right? There's no strap. There's a anti-gravity system. So Unitarians love gravity technology. So they have those devices that invert gravity on that specific spot. So that the device, there's no straps to it. It's just stuck to the place with inverted gravity. But anyway, she deactivates it, and it's not as heavy as she thought. I mean, it's kind of big, cumbersome, and that's the problem. Getting through the part that she's sneaked through, it's not going to be so easy. I guess things are too easy, right? Maybe you need to add a little bit of flavor to the situation. So just as she's doing that, she can feel this vibration going through the ship, and she can see through the window as the command ship is approaching. She can also see under the golden cord command ship as a door opens and spherical device with blinking lights come out. It's the antimatter mine. She needs to run. I don't think there's time to secure advantage or anything. She just needs to get through the damn broken path. So just try to face danger. Just go straight in and screw this. I mean, if something happens, either that or the mine will explode and I'll be vaporized. So try to face danger. She's carrying this big disc. The only problem is that the whole thing coming down on top of her. It's face danger in this case. It's strain endurance aggression, because she's just running and crashing through the wreckage to get back to her ship. So it's a +1 for an iron. Let's hope for the best. So the challenge was a 7 and a 9, and the action is a 1. A 1. And there's nothing I can do, because even if I just use momentum, which is 5, it still be a miss. On a miss, you fail. Or momentary success is determined by the direct turn of events. Okay, so here's the thing. The episode is going long already. I don't want to go too far into any other direction. So pay the price. I'll just say that things just come crashing down on her. It hits the device, and she's thrown into the airlock, and she's wounded, and the device, it breaks. It's not serious damage, but I mean, there's a Nitarian part of it that's more fragile than the Selenium part. She stumbles out and jumps through the airlock into her ship. Her suit's leaking air, and so like everything wrong happening. There's a mine outside. There's both the Golden Court and the local patrol. They're shooting each other right outside. She just wants to get out of there. So jumps back into the ship, hits the airlock to close it behind her, looks up. Airgun is looking back at her like,
what it took you so long? What did you do with my toy?
Kirjan doesn't really want to talk right now. Just drops the device on the floor and stumbles in the direction of the cockpit. Hits to release the wreckage just after burn the hell out of there. Makes sense to do another face danger right now. And again, it's speed mobility. She's in a complicated situation, so yeah, why not? As soon as she undocks from the ship, her ship is visible, and the Golden Court command ship can see her, and their turrets turn in her direction and start shooting. It's just all hell break loose. Just explosions all around. That's face danger. 1 and a 6 against a 5. A rolling edge, so it's a 6. There's nothing really I can do on this, so it's a weak hit. On a weak hit, you succeed, but not without a cost. You make a suffer move. Our ship is hit, and then in the middle of this chaos, the patrols and the fighters are coming in her direction. He just aims in one direction, just shoots out of there, and then the mine goes off, and before it shoot, things hit her again. The shields are down, just how whatever, and hits the skip drive. Damn this thing, and tries what will technically be the last step on the expedition. So let's undertake expedition one last time. Wow. That's bad. A 9 and a 9 in the challenge, and I rolled a 4 in the action. I don't think there's anything that I can add to this that will make a difference. Just bad. On a miss, you are waylaid by a crisis or arrive on a waypoint and confront immediate hardship or threat. Do not mark progress and pay the price. Wow. To make things worse, 2 9s. That means it's not just bad, it's really bad. On a matching miss, the match should represent a heightened and negative outcome, complication, or new peril. Things get worse in an unexpected way. Like again, the episode has been long already. I'm not going to segue in the wrong direction. I'm just going to say that the mine went off. It hit the ship. The ship managed to get speed enough, but the blast hits it, and the damage is way more than expected. The ship just tumbles out into the asteroid field, hitting other asteroids. It's not going to be destroyed. They're not going to die. I mean, come on, this is a flashback. We know that they are alive for but it's seriously damaged. People are just thrown around inside it. Of course, at this point, even the soldier who is drugged out with the med kit wakes up. Their gun is yelling, "What's going on? And I pay you for this kind of thing." And the ship just tumbles and it's completely wrecked. You know what? I think it makes sense to stop now. It was quite the flashback. Quite frankly, I wasn't expecting to go in this direction. But at least we kind of know how the device ended up with her, and maybe the reason why Orikana sent her with it. Even have a first look at Golden Cord, the faction that is threatening the salvage operation. So yeah, let's end this episode here. Once again, this was quite unexpected outcome. It's actually fun to play this, just rolling dice and talking on the microphone. It's fun. It could actually become an interesting novel if I decided to. Anyway, I'll see what happens next week. I'll probably go back to the present, and maybe at some point I'll do another flashback in the future. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I enjoyed playing it. It was actually very fun, and I'm trying also at the same time to do some other episodes of the 5 Parsecs from Home series in YouTube, in case you're interested in this other line of solo games. It's a miniature war game, kind of RPG elements to it, but it's also connected to the same universe. And of course, there's other stuff. There's, as I mentioned before, there's a pen and paper RPG coming out. There's a visual novel, Alexandria 4, that you can find the demo on Steam right now. Okay, thank you a lot for listening, and I hope you enjoyed this. And if you have any ideas, anything interesting that you think it would be interesting to see, or any tips things that I should be doing that I'm not doing, or what I should keep doing, please leave a comment. Let me know. That's it. Thank you. Goodbye.